Thrilled to be joined now on 310 to Left by Emma Teidemann and Rylee, the play-by-play team in Portland, covering the Sea Dogs. So let's start with this. August 26th. This is a big deal, right? And not just because Danny Jansen might have an opportunity to play in the same game for two different teams in a makeup, but then that's the early game. You two are going to be broadcasting for NESN. How much are you counting down the days to this? How much are you counting down the hours? You know, is there a clock running in your residences that is ticking towards your opportunity for your own call-up?
Yeah, I think we're going to add one to the front office so everyone knows what is about to happen on August 26th. But no, it's so exciting. It's so thrilling to kind of follow up the Danny Jansen historical game and have our own history in that second game of that doubleheader at Fenway Park, no less. It's a date that's been circled on the calendar and one I cannot wait for it to get here.
Yeah, I'd echo the same, just that I think everybody around here has really just proven what an awesome support system they are. Some of our ushers, when I was delivering game notes the other day, he's like, 16 days, are you ready? Are you counting down? And I was like, well, yeah, now hearing you say 16 days, it puts it into full perspective. So we've had so many awesome people here around Portland, and just people at our season ticket holder brunch the other day too. We're going to have watch parties and get together, and just we're so excited for you guys. So it's been awesome just to feel the support of everybody here in Portland, Maine. It's really, really special.
Yeah, what a cool thing. Like, how much have you felt, you know, in your position as broadcasters, how much do you learn about how, like, the rooting interest that people are taking, not just in the Portland Sea Dogs players, but in your own careers and successes and lives?
Yeah, I think that I knew we had a ton of support, like Rylee said, like with the ushers and stuff, knowing the countdown and season ticket holders having watch parties and stuff. But, you know, it wasn't that apparent until this last couple of days, wrapping up our 2-week homestand in Portland. You know, I know that everyone had been really supportive with me on maternity leave and me coming back, but it's on a whole other level now with Rylee and I getting to call a Red Sox game because they know how long we've been doing this, how hard we've worked for it. And we're just like the players. We want to one day be major league broadcasters. So to have that little taste of the big leagues, I think they understand the importance of it to us, and are equally excited to kind of, you know, root us on and see how we perform at the big league level, just like the players.
Well, let's jump in there, right? Like you mentioned how long you've been working at this. I'm interested in both of your paths to this place. Why baseball? Why baseball broadcasting? And, you know, and kind of how would you when you outline the bio? What does that look like for? And I guess let's start with let's start with Rylee. And you know, you're not that far out from school, and yet here you are you're on the fast track. How did you get here?
Yeah, Emma joked about that too. She's like, you're on the fast track to the bigs right now. It's pretty surreal to even think about. Just the perspective, and my journey in New England baseball too, I think has been one of the most neat parts about it all. So just graduated from UNLV last spring in May and took this job prior to that. But my internship experience started early on in college. I interned with the Northwoods League, which is a summer collegiate baseball league, and started there just as an MC and marketing intern, and had this desire to learn more about broadcasting specifically. So asked to join our broadcasters on the road and take one of the trips with them. They showed me around and let me sit in the booth with them and kind of taught me from that perspective. And then from there, reached out to my internship coordinators at UNLV and said I would really love to learn more about this. So they kind of threw me right in there, broadcasting for our student radio station, and then also reached out to our SID and just our communications department at UNLV and asked to be involved in that way. So got to work with our baseball SID quite a bit, and she just let me kind of put my hand in anything in the baseball team and just everything on that back end. So I got to do PA announcing, I got to do some social media, student broadcasting, and anything just to get my hand in the baseball scene. That was always the constant for me. And then going into my senior year, interned with the Cape Cod Baseball League, which is such a prestigious league on its own, one that a lot of players obviously want to go and play in, and it's the same for broadcasting. So originally applied there and interviewed to be a team reporter and a sideline reporter, but with some extra pieces and some extra interns towards the end. They looked at me preseason and asked if I would be willing to do the play-by-play and try that out and be a third voice in the booth. And it wasn't anything that was originally on my radar, and quite frankly kind of terrified me at first too. But I had some really fantastic broadcast partners that turned to me and said, we really trust your baseball eyes and the way that you're able to view the game, and we think that you should too, so we'd love if you did that. So just kind of took off from there and continued just broadcasting and honing in on play-by-play specifically on top of already the team reporting and color commentary. And then from there just knew that I really love the challenge more than anything. I think play-by-play just presents such a unique challenge of being able to get better every single day and seeing that tangibly, not knowing what's going to happen on the field, I think is one of the neatest parts of it. So it all just kind of took off from there, and I owe a lot of it to those internships and the people that believed in me to be in this position. So started to look post-grad, knew that it was coming soon, and saw this job with Emma pop up in Portland, Maine, definitely farther than I'm used to from Las Vegas, but knew that it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up to be able to work with her nonetheless, and just the talent that she is and just the career that she's had in broadcasting. I knew that I could move and everything else would fall into place. Had to take that opportunity when it arose. So really lucky to be here for my second season and learn from her every single day. It's the best.
Well, so Rylee had an opportunity to jump in kind of unexpectedly into the booth. And I believe that your own maiden also not necessarily anticipated.
Yeah, I grew up playing every sport under the sun, but I actually want to be a veterinarian. And when I was in high school, that kind of shifted when I took biology and realized I wasn't really a science and math-minded person. But I was very fortunate. My grandfather was a broadcaster, and he, at that point, had not quite fully retired, but he was still calling games with his students at the University of North Texas, and had an extra headset one day. And I was there to help him keep score for a women's basketball game. And he was like, hey, you've been playing basketball your whole life. Let's see how you can do on play-by-play. And you don't have to talk if you don't want to, but let's just see how you do. And I took the headset and I ran with it. I fell in love that first game calling women's basketball, of always being on your feet, having to analyze on the second, and going with the ebbs and flows of the game. Oh my gosh, I just loved it. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do for my career the rest of my life. I wanted to do play-by-play. So I continued broadcasting about 7 sports throughout high school, and then went to the University of Missouri and got more involved with play-by-play, called football, called Missouri football, called the Cotton Bowl for the student radio station. Had a lot of fun with that. And then I wanted to kind of transition and work better at baseball. That was my weakest sport play-by-play wise. So that took me to Palmer, Alaska, for the Alaska Baseball League, and of all places. And that's where I fell in love with working in baseball, and the day in, day out grind, the bus trips, the longer season. I just knew that was it. I was hooked on baseball. So after Alaska, I spent 2 seasons in Medford, Oregon. Then I went to the St. Paul Saints when they were still an independent baseball team. Then broke into minor league baseball with the Lexington Legends, the Kansas City Royals affiliate, for 2 seasons, and then got the job in Portland, Maine in 2020, and have been with the Sea Dogs ever since.